Okay, let's get started. Now we are discuss what is conflict in literature, types of conflict. Basically, traditionally, conflict is a major element of narrative or dramatic constructions that create challenges in a story by adding uncertainty as to whether the goal will be achieved. In works of narrative, conflict is a challenge main characters need to solve to achieve their goals. However, narrative is not limited is a single conflict. In narrative, the term resolutions refers to the color closures of conclusions of the conflict, which may not occur by the story's end. The basic conflict. The basic type of conflict in fictions have been commonly confined as man against man against nature, and man against self. Although frequently cited, these three types of conflict are not universally accepted. Arendt, for the instance, argued that man against nature is not a conflict because nature has no free will and thus can make no choices. Sometimes a further basic conflict is described man against society. Some of the other types of conflict referenced include man against machine, Terminator, Braver New World, man against fate, Oedipus Rex, man against the supernatural, The Shining, and man against God, a canticle for Labisotti. Man against man. Man against man conflict involves stories where characters are against each others. There is an external conflict. The conflict may be direct opposition is as in a gunfight or a robbery, or it may be a more subtle conflict between the desire of two or more characters as in a romance or a family epic. The type of conflict is a very common in traditional literature, fairy tales and myths. One example of the man against man conflict is a relationship struggles between the protag- protagonist, protagonist and the antagonist, stepfather in this boy's life. Other examples including Dorothy struggles with the wicked witch of the West in the wonderful Wizard of Oz, and Tom Sawyer's confrontations within Jones, Jew in the adventures of two Tom Sawyer. Man against nature. Man against nature conflict is an external struggles oppositioning the character against an animal or a force of nature such as storm or tornado or snow. The man against nature conflict is central to Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea, where the protagonist contended against a Marley. It's also common in adventure stories, including Robinson's Crusoe. The TV show Man vs. Wild takes its from this conflict featuring Bear Grylls and his attempts to survive nature's man against self. With man against self conflict, the struggle is internal. A character must overcome their own natures or make a choice between two or more paths good and evil, logic and emotions. A serious example of man against himself is offered by Herbert Saul Jr. 1978 novel Requiem for a Dream, which centers around story of addiction. In the novel Fighting Club by the Chook, Punk published in 1994 as well as in its 1999 film adaptations. The unnamed protagonist struggles against himself in what is revealed to be a case of so, dissociative identity disorder. Bridget Jones' diary also focuses on internal conflict as the titular character deals with her own nerves and self-doubts. Men against societies. Sometime of further basic conflict is described men against society where men stand against a man-made institutions. Man against man conflict may shade into man against society. In such story, characters are forced to make moral choice are frustrated by social rules in meeting their own goals. The handmaid tale, the men in the high castles and furnished are examples of man against society. Conflict is so Charlotte's Web, in which the pig Wilbur fight for his survival against a society that raises page of food. Thank you. Do like, share, and subscribe.